What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and today I'm here to give you my tips and tricks for the NHL 3s, the 3-on-3 gameplay mode in NHL 18's beta. Now, I'm just going to be talking about some tips and tricks of what I think you should do and how to exactly play it, because it is, in some ways, pretty simple, but I want to kind of give you guys a leg up over your opponents. And, starting off, I just want to make it clear, my record is 14-4-2 in this mode. I would consider myself a very good player in this, so it's not like I've just never played this before and want to talk about it. I do think I'm experienced enough and good enough to talk about it. I've played all of these games for many, many years, and I'm pretty good. You could just ask Tyler about that. So what I want to talk about in this is some things that I think you should be keeping in mind. I want to go basic first. So first thing that I think you guys should keep in mind when you're playing this game mode is the fact that the pucks have different values. And I think that's the first thing you should always be aware of. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see what pucks are coming up in terms of face-off wise and what they're worth. So there's just gray pucks, and those are just 1 goal. You got red pucks that are either worth 2 or 3. Then you have blue pucks that are worth either -2 or -1. And these will give you a goal and take away from the other person. So it's important to know which puck is up and which puck is coming up, because then you can kind of plan your attack and defense accordingly. As for the actual game, first things first is assembling your team, playing as whatever team you want. Now, I'm not going to say to pick a team over another team. I personally play as Buffalo, and what I think is most important, though, is to have a somewhat balanced roster, a balanced 3 players, and even substitutions if necessary. So I play with a mix of Ryan O'Reilly, Kyle Okposo, Jack Eichel, and Rasmus Ristolainen. So what I think that group does is you're going to want to pick players that have speed, but not all speed. If you pick players with just all speed, the defenders, they did make some improvements to the defending aspect of the game, and we'll talk about the actual game and what I think of the beta in another video. But it's not impossible to stop you if you're fast. So fast is good because you can get around players, but you're easy to hit down. And this game mode, you can pretty much do almost anything in it without getting penalties. Penalties are extremely rare, and that kind of goes into another thing I'll talk about in a second. But so you want to have speed, but you don't want to have too much speed. You want players that are strong, because you are going to get hit, but if you have players that can kind of brush it off, then you're going to be overall better. And I'd even argue to have a good face-off man, because while you're only going to take 1 face-off per game or per period, it still could be vital to getting the puck first, because oftentimes the team that starts with a puck is most likely going to score, although obviously I'm here to tell you how to fix that. In terms of the actual gameplay, we'll talk about defending first. One thing I see a lot in defending is players grouping up on guys, and there's times to group up on guys. If you see a man go into the corner, that's when I'd argue you send 2 people after him. So, switch to 2 different characters and get them over there and kind of force them out. Either pin them. I almost never pin. I think it's a waste of time. But what I would rather do is hit them or poke check them. So you want to do that. If it's just one guy and he's skating freely, control your player and have one guy go after their guy. It's important to constantly switch your players as they're passing and get into their face. Don't let them do things. What I found, at least in this mode, is it seems like goalies are pretty awful. They let in a lot of long-range shots, which I hope they fix in the actual gameplay of the actual game itself. But as of right now, you can score from long distance, so it's important to pressure the opponent. Never just let them skate around and take shots freely. I do that a lot, and I end up scoring a lot. So you're going to want to get up close to them. And, some people may not like this method, but poke check. Poke check the heck out of them. It's very hard to get a tripping penalty, at least in this game mode and what we're given so far. So don't be afraid to poke check. In fact, that's all I do is I poke check. You have more range with your stick. What I mean by that is you have better control over it, I think, in this game than any of the other NHLs before it. The stick really goes where you want it to go. So poke check them. Don't worry about tripping them, because oftentimes you're not going to, but just poke check them a lot, because that's normally how you'll get the puck. Or if you see a chance to hit them, because oftentimes then you take the puck and you go. So like I said, man on man, You want to be man on man. You want to poke check, stick lift their stick only in special cases, like if they're going towards the wall and the puck is there and neither of you have reached it yet. Lift their stick right before you get to the puck. That way you can take the puck and leave. Don't be afraid to block shots, obviously. You want to get in the way of the shot, but try not to screen the goalie. Obviously, the AI tends to let in more goals when you're blocking their view. In terms of offense, this part gets a little bit more, creative. It's up to you. I personally find that I don't do a lot of dekes. I don't do a lot of the puck moves, like all the new stuff, or even the older stuff of the past couple of years, the R1 or RB, and where you can kick the puck from your skate to your stick, all that stuff. I tend to not do that. I like the new thing, putting the stick in between your legs, the back pass, or even the back shot. That's got its purposes for passing, but oftentimes I don't even do that. What I think it's important to do is extend your stick almost at all times. So right analog stick, you want to push it to whichever side all the way, so you really get the full extension and the curl of your stick. This is so that the other team cannot poke check you, and oftentimes they don't do that to you. So that's how you poke check them, and then when you're there, extend your stick as far away with the puck from where they are so they can't poke check you. Try not to go straight at them because oftentimes they'll just hit you. Go nice and slow, but do abnormal movements with skating techniques. Don't just go straight in unless you're going to curl around behind the net. Never do that. In terms of how to transition out of your zone, I find I do this a lot, and from the people I've played, 20 different people, I've never seen it done the way I do it. Pass so quickly they can't even touch you. So if you're starting in your own zone, as soon as you get the puck, you should be already passing it to a different player. You can get out of your zone so quickly, and I know there aren't really zones in the 3-on-3, but you can get to the middle of the ice basically so quickly. Just tap R2, actually hold R2, hold right trigger for Xbox, and get it to another player immediately, because oftentimes they'll send 1 to 2 people at you to hit you, and if you can make that pass before they get to you, which I do quite often, then automatically it's a 2-on-1 and your chances are increased. So that's how you want to do that. But pass quickly. Pass as soon as you get the puck. Pass it. Maybe even pass it a second time. You want to get their team to not know which player you're going to go to. And like I said, oftentimes they'll just attack one single player. If you can get the puck to another player, all their players are preoccupied. So now it's a breakaway. I've gotten so many breakaways, and while I'm not the best deker, or at least online it makes it much harder to literally move your stick left to right or right to left. So it's harder to score on breakaways and stuff, but you'll get so many opportunities. And like I said, quick passes. Quick passes are what you got to do. Taking long shots, like I said, long shots do work in this game. Slap shots only take at the point, and obviously the person you put on defense will stay in that relative area, and the players do mix up. I like the AI intelligence level where they'll move around the defenseman, the person that's defenseman. It doesn't have to be a defenseman. Like I said, I put Eichel on defense just because of his shot and how he can move around anywhere. They'll move up. And so you want to get it to them for the long range shots. Like I said, when you curl the puck, when you extend the right trigger, that's when you often have the best chance of a wrist shot into the top right or top left corner. So you want to do that. And other than that, you just have to, obviously I can't teach you how to wait for moments, but you just have to look for moments, make those quick passes. Oftentimes going across right in front of the goalie, making cross passes, the goalie will poke check it or the defenseman will knock it out of the way. Only do it if there's literally no one there, or you think you have a good. It really does matter who the players are and what the stats are. If you do it with a 80 overall player, oftentimes the pass won't make it through, or it'll be too strong, or if the receiving player is like an 80 overall, they won't catch it. But if you have like McDavid passing to Draisaitl or O'Reilly passing to Eichel, they'll catch it. So it depends on the actual player. And they do play kind of, Crosby passing it to Malkin, they'll obviously catch the pass or, accept it. So those are kind of my tips and tricks of how to do it. I think that you'll have a lot of success doing it like this. Obviously, just I've been playing a video of how I'm playing it, so just, you know, I wanted to help you guys out. I've seen some good players, or have been some good players I've played, but none actually do like the techniques that I'm talking about. So I hope this video helped you. Let me know what you guys think of the NHL beta. We're going to have a specific video of a Let's Play, just me playing it. That'll go up later in the week. And then we're also going to have an analysis or a review of the beta right as it ends. So when we'll talk about NHL 18 in general. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video.